0. Be interesting to see how your pool tournament went. I'm curious about that. So something happened. I took the mask off the mold, but I did something stupid because I'm like in a migraine cycle right now, and sometimes my finger just doesn't work right when I'm in a migraine cycle. And I put my paper mache mask with the plastic and everything on top of the wood stove, and I melted it. So this thing, I was like sitting down in my chair, relaxing in front of the fire, and I was like thinking, what is that smell? And it was this plastic smell. And so my mask flattened down and completely ruined. So it's something to, but maybe it can be used for something else. I don't know. Let's just take this thing off. I'm gonna take it off the mold. To reveal, still smells like melted plastic. Not very pretty. Yeah, I completely destroyed this. I should have known better, but obviously I didn't know better. It does look funny though. It has a really funny look. The nose is completely flattened down. Yeah, maybe it's now a different type of mold. Maybe I can make alien faces now with this. I think it will work that way, don't you think? If anybody's there watching this on the replay. So if you're out there, this, I can tell you, is the... No, I don't want that to stick to that. What did I do with this now? I destroyed a brand new tarot card. That sucks. I like that deck. Shoot. All right. So what we got today is Painting Saturday. Today's Painting Saturday on the 999 ASMR Tarot. We are doing visual textures. We started this at 9:09, and so this is my mask that I destroyed last night by putting it onto a heat source to try to quick dry the this thing, the paper mache that I did last night. But you know what? It's got this sickening plastic smell to it. So I'm just peeling the paint right off. And now I got this new kind of a mold. We can use this, and the whole thing just came off, We can put something else on it. Make this a different kind of a mold. Alien face. Doesn't that look like a ghost face now? Flat face. No face. No face. Flat face. It's kind of cool though. It's a happy accident. This is one of those things that Bob Ross talks about, happy accidents. Well, this is a happy accident. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply paper mache directly on to this thing. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. It's just a different mold now. I know, it's boring. It's really hard to find something exciting in the YouTube lives. I'm going to take it off here. Yeah. Kind of like skinning a deer, which I have done a long time ago. Long time ago. Braden is going down from this. Who's Braden? Brandon? Braden? The face has peeled off. Yeah, look at that. Peeling faces. It's kind of stubborn on there because there was a coating on top of the mask. Stinks too. It's got that smell, that plastic smell. Maybe I should just throw it outside again. Get it to air out. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just kind of cut it loose. This is very boring, I understand. It's a very boring video. Okay, you cut it loose. The face, it's a broken face. Actually, it's kind of like an alien face, don't you think? Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to get rid of this stuff and put it someplace else. I do not want that in this room. So we'll put this back here and take this out. And let's get painting. So, what we're going to do, I don't know what we're going to do. I have no idea what we're going to do, actually. I'm going to just use up, I haven't used this paint for a while. This is acrylic. It is a Amsterdam series paints. With the exception of this, this is golden. Because I don't have any straight yellow in the golden. Well, in the Amsterdam. So I'm going to just mix a little gel medium into there. Kind of creams out and extends out the paint. I'm going to kind of make it a little bit more semi-transparent if possible. You know, we're just going to put some, I put some gesso down here earlier. Something else, but as if you watched last night, I had reservations about the paste, the paper mache paste. I thought that I didn't cook it long enough, and it was kind of thin, and I was right because it didn't dry up transparent like it was supposed to. So I decided that I wasn't going to be able to do what I wanted to do with this mask. And I'm just going to put a base yellow down, and we'll figure out what we'll do with it later. So I got, this stuff is gel medium, and I'm going to be adding the gel medium into here in order to make this paint less opaque. And we're making, and I'm using Amsterdam series paints on this one, which are student grade paints versus Golden Open, which is a professional grade paint. because I'm thinking I want it to make it more, like eventually kind of like a yellow ochre and a reddish black stripes. That was kind of what I'm kind of thinking I want this thing to be. But we'll start with a transparent yellow, and then we can build on it with these different colors on top of it, because using some of the techniques that we've been working on for the last month or so of painting with thin layers of transparent and semi-transparent colors, we can use the old masters effect of like just glazing the color on in thin layers, and adding those thin layers so that all the layers of paint are so that they will all be showing through, and then it gets more depth, adding more depth to the paint job, rather than just anyway. We'll see if it works. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we shall see if it'll work. And I'm lifting up some color off my other palette, and I added water to it. I've had it sort of cling filmed over, which is this palette that I've been using to do those other paintings, and I just added a bunch of water in here, and we're lifting up the colors and adding it in. So if you're just joining, just looking in, working in from afar, this is the 999 ASMR Tarot, and tonight we are just doing a ASMR texture. So for the time being, the direction of the content has been mainly in the form of art, and I do have tarot videos. I just posted one the other day with my a tarot deck that is not a new release tarot deck by any means. It's the new Aquarian. It was a redone. It was a redone tarot deck, and I picked up a kit, which was the full size deck and a guidebook for like $20 some at Amazon. A little over a month ago, but it had been on my list of tarot's acquisitions, and the Morgan Greer and that one, and for one of the books I'm going through called The Spiritual Tarot. And granted, the books had the images of each of the tarot cards in it, but they had no color, and when I'm reading books, I kind of like to use the tarot deck that they have in it. And anyway, but that's just me, because I have it's that whole consumerism kind of a thing going on. Oh, it's got some blue in here now. Thin, transparent blue. That'd be fine. You know what? I don't care what this is going to eventually be, the colors, because we're going to be blending layers of colors together, so it'll be fine. And we will figure it out. This blue there. Should probably put this yellow. It's fine. It'll work fine. Thin layer of yellow with a heavy body gel medium. Thin transparent colors. And anyways, that was and I'm going to be posting another long play video. It'll be a short one. It'll probably be tomorrow, because I think I'm almost done editing it. It's on a Hello, welcome, Motivation. Welcome to Paint Night. And this is a paper mache mask. I made it last night. And we are just doing a technique of painting on it, of applying thin layers of transparent color. And as you can see, it shows through here, and we'll see what happens. I don't have a plan on how I'm going to paint this. I'm just doing it stream of consciousness style. Now, generally, I will have a show on Sunday afternoon, but not this Sunday because I have a church function I'm going into in the afternoon, and there's no way I'll be home in time for my 1 o'clock show. Not that you care, but it is absolutely true. I am a churchgoer. I've been a churchgoer my entire life in one fashion or another. I am a, but anyway, that's just me. So people get confused about people who do tarot and also are churchgoers. But yeah, you know, of course, the people in church don't know I have a YouTube channel, but that's fine. They're older folks. They don't necessarily understand those kinds of things. And yellow, yeah. But I was raised. I grew up in the church. I grew up in a Lutheran church. Actually, it was a liberal Lutheran church. So I have actually, from a standpoint of people who were, let's say, evangelical or whatnot, I've been damned my entire life. By Protestant Christianity has damned me my entire life, so I don't really listen to people who anymore. So when I moved away from the Lutheran Church and became Catholic, I was still damned. I'm still damned, and so so that's just me. So, but your relationship to God is one that's individual. It's between you and however you define that God. And but I'm not here to talk about what you should be doing. I'm not going to do that at all because that's not my job. It's not my job to talk about those kinds of things. But I do sometimes talk about it because it is on my mind. And I think the other day someone, well, hello, Nick's Gaming. I remember you. I remember you from the last time you were here. It was probably like 2 weeks ago. But we haven't done a mask for a while. And I had a mishap last night, and I had the mask mold and this mask, and then I put the whole thing on top of my wood stove, and I completely destroyed the plastic part of the max mold. So I'm painting a mask, and I'm using thin layers of transparent color in order to try to get it. It'll give it a more of a 3D effect by adding these transparent colors and stuff like that. Hey, it's okay, Crazy Ender. I'm gonna be on for like 90 minutes or less tonight because I have a migraine, and so I'm not quite all there today. I fell asleep on the couch, listening and watching YouTube, and ended up listening, I guess, for 2 hours. Fell asleep to someone doing a lecture on the Constitution, and so it was good, but it was really relaxing. So that's if everybody had want to know what I watch for YouTube, well, that's stuff that I watch for YouTube is lectures on history, American history, which I like history. And occasionally, it's kind of, but nevertheless, if I fall asleep on the couch and I don't really start laying down on my bed till 6 o'clock in the morning, I will have a migraine headache, and I can only do it like 1 or 2 days in a row without getting a migraine. But that's just my pathologies. Is I am a sufferer of migraines, and it came from down in the family from my gypsy great grandmother who migrated to all right who migrated to America from Sweden um, in the about a little over 100 years ago, and so my gypsy Swedish grandmother, who was a psychic tarot reader, who I have inherited those gifts from, also had migraines, and so not that you really care, but that's just what I'm talking about. I'm gonna get my hair dryer out, but I'm gonna mute the camera here because I don't need to blast you guys' ears out if you're on. And I'm gonna dry this up a little bit, and then I'm gonna go for the next rounds of colors. And so I'm just don't have to worry about turning the volume down because I don't really want to do that to you. But I need to dry this off just a bit, so it'll just be about 30 seconds. Okay, I think it's ready for another round of colors. I don't know what. I think I want to go up a little bit. I'm going to go up a shade to. I think I'm going to go and take this. I don't want to go into the fluorescence, and I think eventually I want it to be like a yellow ochre and maybe like a combination of like black and some kind of a red. And I think that's kind of the direction I want to go. So I'm gonna go take some of this yellow ochre, but it's got this blue in it, so it's gonna change the color, so it's more of a greenish tone, and that's okay. This paint in here is pretty old, so we gotta use it up. I'd be mixing it right on the brush, and we're just kind of putting down a base coat, kind of like an underpainting. You can think of it doing like an underpainting. And the purpose of an underpainting is that you have it adds depth and complexity to pretty much most paintings. You can't do underpaintings with watercolors, I understand, but I don't really do watercolors. I haven't invested the money in watercolors. I've invested quite a bit of money in acrylics. I do have a complement of watercolor colored pencils. And so one of the things, I'm kind of scatterbrained here. I'm trying to tune my thoughts. But if you are painting layers of thin colors, if you want to look at this here, you can see underneath it, my set's falling apart. You can see the other colors underneath that I put in this thin layer of this yellow ochre over the top of that blue, and so you can see all the colors underneath it. And so the light goes through all those different layers rather than, and so this is a technique of you taking those thin colors and you lay them out over here. I think I might actually go do that other color scheme. Do I want to use that red there, or do I want to go, yeah, let's just use that red. We'll just take that red, and I'm going to add some gel medium to it. I have some right over here. Some water. And I'm going to go into this red, which also has some black in it and some other colors, but that's okay. I need to use this paint up, and then because I have been using the professional grade paint for a while, so we'll do this. Now it's kind of like a raspberry color, and we'll kind of paint it in this section here, and you can see the color right below it, which is just fine. We're not making anything realistic here at all. We're just gonna go for cool, or something that could potentially be cool. And sometimes that is the best way to go, is to not think about this stuff too much and paint stream of consciousness. A stream of consciousness style of painting. I think I want to do this ear like this too. Let's move it down here like that. I'm going to paint the whole ear this this color here, red. The goal for today, for the most part, is just going to be to use up this paint in this little palette, then clean it up. I might do a stream tomorrow night to make up for the one, for the one that I'm going to miss tomorrow afternoon. And I probably should do that, but I don't know. It just depends on how I feel. So that, you can see, it still is thin layers of paint. Yep. It actually has a lot of different colors in it. All right, Nick's Gaming. I hope that you have a good dinner. Is it like pizza or something? Is that what you're going to have? Let's just take another section here, this whole area in here, and we'll do the same color. We're pulling it out of here, yeah. Kind of patches the colors. You know, we're not worrying about if it looks good or not. I don't think that's something that you should always worry about, because when you worry about whether it's going to look good or not, you may end up getting frustrated and quit because you tried to make something perfect and then it just plain doesn't work out at all. So as a general rule or technique, when you're doing practice paintings and things like that, just paint the damn thing and don't worry about if it's if it works or not. If it doesn't work, you just throw it away and start over, or you can just paint over it. But it's not that important. I think that the more important thing is in the doing, in the doing of this. You can learn something from just doing it, and actually, if you do the thin layers of you paint with transparent or semi-transparent colors, after you get done with the first day's painting session, then you can just stare at the thing for a while. And I do that often. I'll just take a painting and I'll stare at it. Sometimes I stare at it for like months before I figure out what I want to do with it next. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just move on. Go to the next painting, and you have that one that's undone, and you just sit there and you stare at it. You put it where the TV is, and instead of watching TV, you look at your painting. And I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I'm going to go on to another shade of color here. Let's see. What shall we do? We got that color. We got this color. Green. Yeah, let's do that yellow oak. Well, let's go back to the other yellow. It's the other yellow that we're working on here. Maybe before the end of this show today, this will start to take shape into something. I don't know. But it doesn't really matter, does it? That's a mantra. A mantra to speak, that it just doesn't matter. I wonder if I should, like, cut this flap off. Yeah, I don't care. I'm just going to leave it like that. Just doesn't matter. From the movie Meatballs. With, God, what's that actor's name? Bill Murray. With Bill Murray. Meatballs. You should watch that movie. They made some other ones, but I don't think they were any good. Meatballs. You can see all the layers. It's kind of neat, though, when you do thin layers of paint, because you see all the layers down, and it can get like almost a holographic, like 3D effect when you're looking at it. And I think we'll go over to this one here, back to the yellow, and paint the yellow in here. I need some more gel medium, though. I've had this one. This is the Amsterdam series. It's a heavy body gloss. It adds. So one of the things you can do in looking for gel medium is you use it like, so if you were, I think that red over there is still active. So I'm just going to put it back over. Yeah, let's put some right over here. So you can mix it in with your acrylic paints in order to try to mimic working with oil paints. That's one of the ways of using it, and that's what a use for it, to mimic oil paints. And so we're kind of mixing this in here, mixing it down, and so it, rather than thinning it out like watercolor, we're maintaining the body of the pigments, and we're just thinning it out with this medium, and so that it maintains, so it's thin, yeah, so it's thin. That's, and so if I don't do a pop-up tomorrow, then the next time I'll come out beyond is Tuesday for Tarot Tuesday, and I'm probably going to work with my homemade Oracle deck again, and that was kind of fun doing. Uh, oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot that what I was going to do was we were going to go over using tarot as for actual card games, because tarot was a card game, and so we're gonna play Tarot Solitaire. Tarot Solitaire. I think that's what we're gonna do. Um, I like that, how the colors are just shining through. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. There's a part of painting that's just kind of really relaxing. If you're having anxiety problems, or I haven't had depression problems for so many years, so I can't speak to depression. But it's been a lifetime ago since I last experienced depression. But I can attest to, when you're having high anxiety, that doing art, doing painting, doing things like artistic things can alleviate your anxiety issues, at least temporarily. There are other things you can do. I mean, if you're into doing physical things, going outside, that's always good. It's always good to go outside. Today I walked for like a half an hour in the rain, and I hadn't gotten a lot of walking in, and my body was just feeling toxic. So I walked until my legs didn't feel toxic anymore. But when I am in these migraine moments, I do have like a toxic. I do feel it. My body feels toxic, is how it feels, and probably means that I'm in a migraine moment and my kidneys aren't working as great. It's probably that probably also means that too. Anyways, who wants to hear about that stuff? Okay, we're gonna go into. So we have some zones in here. I think we're gonna go over. Do I want to go yellow ochre there? No. Maybe in this zone where it's green, we'll do the yellow ochre. Is there as well. Add some green here to the brush. So I was talking about my great grandmother, Emma. She was from Sweden, and she was a psychic reader, fortune teller. So I have heard she passed away in 1980 when she was 90 years old. I was really young when she died. And I only knew her as someone who had dementia. So technically speaking, now I do have memories of just brief memories of going over to her house when she lived in Portland. I don't remember exactly where. Somebody they pointed out before, but I think there's like a bridge that kind of goes over that area now. And my aunt um, had told me this was just that how things used to be. That she was a card reader. When I heard that, I actually went out and bought my first. I got my first deck of tarot cards. I was actually sick with tarot with COVID at that time too, and so it's almost 2 years that I started my journey with the tarot. But I've wanted to do it for far longer than that, but I let the church prohibitions against it make my decisions for me. But just like a lot of things, I don't know. Maybe my doing that, I'll end up in hell, but I don't really think so. All right, I'm gonna go give this the hair dryer treatment again, and we're gonna go after do some more corners here. Let's see. Let's just take a little bit of the color out of the brush so the brush doesn't dry all hard and stiff. And but you can see, I can see anyway when I'm looking down at this that I can see through the layers of the paint, and so if anything, what we're gonna get is more of a holographic effect. And I'm gonna turn the hair dryer on, so guard your ears. Okay, it's dry enough, and we can continue on. I'm not really worried about the whole effect of rapid drying acrylics and making them turning into and the paint cracking, because this, yeah, it's got a hole in it up here. I wonder if I can repair that with some glue. Yeah, I think I can do that. Uh-oh, I hit the camera, moved everything out of position here. Well, I don't know if this is going to work either on the fly, because it's just kind of wet down in here. So there's nobody here right now. The big empty. It's raining out. Oh, there's 3 people here now. I don't think that anybody else is live streaming art. I think I've seen maybe one other person who live streamed art. The last time I went through, this is not going to stay. So this was a waste of time to do that. So I got this black here. I'm gonna thin that, or I can go into a transparent black. I might do that. Maybe a different brush. Yeah, I think I'll go with a different brush. I'll go with one of these brushes, and I want to see if I can make it more transparent. Right now it's pretty heavy bodied. I want to be able to see through this paint. And so I think I'm going to go with some glazing solution, and this is a gloss glazing solution, like $10 a bottle for 8 ounces. I'm going to put a bunch of this in here. I could probably do the same thing by just adding Elmer's glue to it too. Because I've heard that gel medium, you can use gel medium just like glue. Let's see how that does for making it transparent. So we'll just sort of wipe some on here. Now, nope, it's not doing good enough job. So I can kind of see that it's a little bit transparent. It's semi-transparent. So it really needs maybe some more water to it. If I add a lot more water on the brush and then we add it onto here. Yeah, there we go. You see, that makes it more transparent. And so we're going to want to make this as transparent as we can get it. So all these other colors will sort of show through. I think I'll start with the ear. And we'll build on it from there. I'll put more water in it just to get it there. And yeah, see how that's working there? So it just sort of darkens up the color that was there before. Oh, I can show you what I'm doing. I'm just adding. So you see, yeah, that is. It's just a technique, and I didn't really understand this even just a couple years ago, and some more experienced artist was saying, well, we said, oh, you just need to keep adding more layers onto your paint, and I didn't really understand what she was talking about. What she was talking about was this: is you paint with transparent paint, and it adds to the complexity of your paint. All it shows through, it's still there. And okay, let's go over this other ear, and we'll do the same thing. And so it's just going to be darkening up this yellow ochre to being some other similar color. You can still see it down in there. And like I said before, if this works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not that important. And because you know, one of the other things you can do with painting, which I haven't really done this very much yet, but is that some people do as a technique, and you take your, well, I don't, I have a hard time believing that that works, but for anyway, the technique being is you paint a picture or whatnot, and you throw all your emotion into it. All that emotion you want to get rid of from you, you throw it into that painting. I would probably just use paper, but you do it this way, and then when you're done, hopefully you feel at peace. And if you feel at peace, then you take that painting and you throw it into the fire. You just throw it away. You destroy it with the hopes that you destroy those emotions too, at least for the time being. It's probably just a temporary fix, but it's a fix nevertheless. And as you can see, these colors are indeed transparent. And I think I'm going to paint the black over the whole thing, and then we will start adding other layers of colors on top of it. I haven't really tried it. I was thinking about trying it, but I maybe, you know, because it's just, I guess what, you know, I understand in theory, but I'm kind of skeptical about that. So I don't know. I mean, I just threw it out there, but I don't know, maybe. I mean, I eventually broke when I was like seeing a therapist for anxiety disorder. I eventually broke things off with it because it was like we weren't getting anywhere. And I was thinking, is this person just billing me out to take advantage of me? I mean, that's kind of what I was kind of feeling, you know. And to do these things, and there was like this method, some method, and we went round and round and round about things like I don't understand why I have to do it this way. Why do I have to do that? She couldn't explain it. I said, why does it have to be like that? And I don't know. I mean, I think, you know, talk therapy is kind of nice. It's have somebody to talk to if you have a. I've had an anxiety disorder my whole life, but um, I think some of the things that have kept it in check. Um, stability helps. Feeling stable helps. That really helps. I mean, as far as if you feel stable in your relationship, stable in your living situation, um, it's easy to, you know, yeah. Well, almost everybody in this modern world has dealt with anxiety. It's very common in the United States now because this the of how uncertain everything is with the environment, with the economy, and the shrinking middle class, and all of those things. It makes it so hard. I'm just going to paint this transparent black over the whole picture, and then I'm going to go back over with zones of yellow ochre and red, and But yeah, just kind of makes it gray. Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather have anxiety than depression any day. I need to move these things out of the way. And yeah. But one thing that really, really helps if you can do it and you have access to it is social dancing is a cure-all for lots of things. I mean, of course, some people are more into sports, and so going out and playing softball and doing that is about the same thing, or going and playing bowling, or like Izero is doing right now, being at a a pool competition. No, it's too late for that. Must have done that this earlier today. That's one of my mods. And something like an event like bowling helps. But social dancing, like contra dance, is really good for helping improve your mental health in that um, it's physical and it's social. People, you know, the social element of it, and if you're, it doesn't really matter if you're mated up or not. I mean, if your mate doesn't want to go, you can go by yourself as long as you just have an understanding. I've been to lots of contra dances where the women there have had these buttons on it that says, I'm not a pickup. I'm just here to dance. I'm married or whatever, so don't even think about it. And so, and you know, you're there, you dance, and you have a good time, you talk, and all that. I'm gonna get the hair dryer out and give this another go, and then I'm gonna go back over this with the yellow ochre, and I'm gonna paint the whole thing that yellow ochre. I might add a little, some other, or maybe I'll go back with the yellow. I think I'll go back to yellow, just plain yellow, and give a glossy effect. But we're gonna dry it off just a little bit, and I'm gonna go back over it with plain yellow, and then do that. And so I don't I'm all gonna put the mute button on. All right. That is dry enough. It's still sticky, but that's fine. That's the way I want it. Yellow. I'm gonna do just plain yellow. I think I want to take some of this and gotta make the noise when you're cleaning things off. So I got some gel medium there. I'm gonna pick up this yellow. It's getting kind of gloopy, which means it's at the end of its lifespan. And put that gel medium into it. I think I need some more of that medium. So when you're cruising around the vertical live section, are there very many people live streaming art? I have heard that there isn't, but I'm just kind of curious. How many people are out there doing stuff like this, arts and crafts? I know there's a lot of art out there that's been heavily edited. So there used to be a lot? I was like looking on Twitch today just to see if it would be worth it to get a Twitch account, and maybe with the possibility of simulcasting to Twitch, and maybe it's not such a, it might be a waste of my time to do something like that. Yeah, so that's what they said, pre-recorded. Yeah. If you're going to do something pre-recorded, you might as well just do edited long play videos. That's kind of the way I look at it. But I was thinking about doing some screencasting sometime with some of my beach videos that I have. Actually, what I might do is I haven't really tried this screencasting function. I'm kind of worried about that it would give like that it would be blurry. So I don't really want to. I don't want to put any, if I can help it, I don't want to put any videos out there that are blurry. And I know that sometimes you can't help it with the live stream. Sometimes the live streams are blurry. From my end, I may not notice that it is, but from your end, you may, because of internet issues or weird internet issues and things like that. I generally, when I see videos like that, I tend to not make them public, because when I turn the live off, it goes to private, and I take a look at it to make sure it's not blurry. If it's blurry, it never becomes public. But yeah, I like how this is turning out with the thin layers of color. Yeah. And probably like once a year, I go through my videos and pull out all of the grossly underperforming videos. Now, granted, as a small channel, it may seem like all the videos are underperforming, but I've heard that when people cross over 1,000 subs, that their videos tend to get more views for some reason or another. And so I'm kind of really looking forward to seeing if that phenomenon is true. And because I'm getting close to 1,000 subs here. And This is actually kind of interesting. Texturally, it's kind of interesting. You're adding those brush strokes in there. Well, what's good about this is that you can see clear down to the bottom layers, and you get that 3D effect in there. So I think probably the way I'm going to work this out today is I'm just going to do base coat layers like this, almost like I was doing an underpainting. And then when I get done with that church event tomorrow, and then I call my buddy over in Minnesota, then I will, and after dinner, I'll do a pop-up live. If I'm not too tired, yeah, I'll do a pop-up live tomorrow night. Yeah, I think so. And then I'll finish this mask. And then I have done that whole technique of staring at it, for a while. I talked about that earlier on when you don't really know where you want to go with something. You kind of stare at it a while, and eventually some kind of something comes out of it. It doesn't always work that way, but oftentimes it does. And oh, I have made quite a few mask motivation. This one, I just hadn't done one for a while. Halloween is actually coming up. I hadn't done, I think it's been a month since I've done paper mache. And I'll show you just a second, I'll show you the last one I did. And I think it's done. I'm not sure. I have a lot of like partially done things. I'll just get it. It's just right over on the other side of my table. So these are some of the masks I've done stretching back into July. So this is like one of the early ones that I did in July. It's more like a wall hanging thing, so kind of reminds me of like Ape Face or something like that. This one's pretty cool. What was going to happen, this is another one, and I think I did this one early in September or at the end of August, and so that's that one. What was going to happen is that I was going to be going, which would have been like next week or the week after, to my regular yearly art fair, and I would be selling product. And so this was the very last mask I did. I did this one about a month ago, and I'm not painting it or anything like that. This is the final copy of it. I might do a little bit more in here. Hello, Crazy Ender. And so this one will be getting varnish on it. Maybe a little bit more tissue paper to get it. I might do that, a little more tissue paper. I don't know if this is something you would wear or you would hang it on the wall. I think I'm making all of my masks as really as decorations, more so than anything else. That's what I think. That's what I have in my mind for them all. And then around the time that 2 of my cousins died at the very same time, I did this mask, like a funerary mask, a warrior's mask. And so this one here too. So I have a few other ones. I think one of them, yeah, but I think this is like my favorite so far. This one here and this one is my favorite. This one kind of reminds me a lot of my little dog Pee-wee, and a little Pee-wee dog who's got little fuzzy ears that kind of point up, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with this one, but I don't have the nose right for that. And but anyways, this is what that's what I'm doing. So if you would want to know what the motivation behind what these masks are, wall hangings. That's what they are. They're not like Halloween masks, and they could be, but they're wall hangings, and there's nothing. And you're welcome. And so, because I had been doing paper mache every week, and actually a couple times a week, but I didn't, sometimes in doing this, you don't want to do things too much because it gets boring. And so that's the one thing I don't really want to happen. I know it's unavoidable. It's very unavoidable. It's very, you can't avoid, as a content creator, making stuff that's boring. You can't make things exciting all the time. It's not realistic, but you can sure hell try to do that. So that's something I'm trying all the time, is to do things that aren't boring. And anyways, so if you're just new and joining in, there are a couple buttons you can push. And if you're watching this on the playback, and you like what you've seen so far, there are these buttons that work. And then if you are watching on the playback, you can always turn the speed up if you are savvy. I know a lot of people don't know how to use YouTube. I know a lot of content creators who don't know how to use YouTube. in the tarot world, it's probably in all worlds. In the people in the tarot community, there's a lot of content creators who do not know how to use YouTube. They don't know how to put a clickable hyperlink onto their front pages. And I tried explaining to that, but I don't know that I can really explain that adequately. I probably need to do a how-to video for folks on how to set up your YouTube page and get the clickable links, because because a lot of times for tarot readers anyway, many of them, if they're any good at reading, they monetize their channels by through getting donations and so forth, and that's what I've seen. And a lot of times they hamstring themselves by simulcasting onto you know I know I shouldn't talk that way. I would like to simulcast too, but I'm gonna probably have some guests on here. I don't know when. I want to start doing that, having guests on. I'm really liking the texture of this. It has I'm gonna come up. So I have warm colors, and I just put down a warm color. So let's just put a cool color down and see how that works. We had a layer of black, we had a layer of yellow, and so let's go with a cool color. How about, what if we do blue? Yeah, let's do I have this blue over here. Maybe with some more of that, I can mix it up. Is that red? No, that red is still good. So let's just take this blue that's in here, and we'll add this onto here. And so essentially what we're doing here, what I'm showing is now if Christine by day, well, I think that's her channel name. If she's on watching, she's not watching now, but if she comes on and watching, what I'm doing here is essentially an underpainting. I am doing underpaintings is a, well, anyway, if an underpainting, this is an underpainting like I learned from this one YouTube channel, Max Cole something or other, and I'm gonna put in this bunch of more of this heavy body gel medium in here, and I'm going to do this cool bluish tone, and we're gonna thin that out, and I'm gonna make a thin layer of that and add a little blue to it, a little other blue to it, a little bit more of this blue, and I'm gonna put a whole layer of blue over the whole thing. Eventually, what I want done on this thing and what I envision is to have streaks of black, sort of a red black color and yellow ochre over the entire thing. And so we're gonna, this is a cool color, and we're gonna run over the whole thing this transparent blue over the whole thing. And then tomorrow, and this will be a continuation for tomorrow, we will begin doing the regular painting that I will paint over this whole thing, and that will be that kind of a, I want to, like an animalistic tiger stripe, tiger splotches or tiger stripes in a sort of a coloration of transparent black and transparent yellow ochre, and then maybe have some gold zones and stuff like that. And I do have some golden open gold color too, and that'll be like some final touches. And so hopefully it'll be looking in, we're going to do another layer of, yeah, so this is another layer on it, and then and as like an underpainting, and eventually I'm going to do a full-on painting. I have to do a whole bunch of editing on, because I had on my phone, and get a lot of videos out of my phone before I can actually do some of the other videos that I want to do, like the pick a pile card readings. I want to do some of those, and I have a lot of videos that in my head that I want to do, but I can't because my phone memory is just chock full of stuff that I need to edit. And so I'm gonna be working double hard to do that, to get that, to clear out the memory and get those videos done, and so I can go do some other stuff. And hopefully YouTube won't stick those videos in jail, because it seems like a lot of my long play videos are in YouTube jail. But if I do, oh well. I'm not playing it. I don't want to seem like, I don't know. I don't need to talk that way. Kind of complaining about YouTube, but it's not really a YouTube thing. It's because probably those videos really are uninteresting to most the broader audience, but we'll put this blue down. Then I'm going to give it another blast of the I'm going to give it another blast of the hair dryer, and but I do have these art videos that I want to do. I have quite a few of them in my head, and I also have tarot deck review videos that I want to do. I have two that I want to do real soon because I want to get rid of those tarot decks. I don't like them. There were I have a book review I want to do too. It's a good idea, but I think the author of the book was lazy. And so that blue there, and you can go, and as you can see, you go down and you can look down through the layers and you can see everything down to the bottom. And so we're going to put a dash of red down. And then go, this is cool tone. And then next it's going to be a hot tone. And then I'm going to make it cool. I think what I'll do is like a transparent gray for the final tone. So we've done a transparent black. We did yellow. We did some red. But we did, over the whole thing, we did transparent yellow. And then we did a transparent black. Or we did a transparent black, a transparent yellow. And then we did this sort of a transparent blue-green color. And next we're going to go do red. And I think I'm going to do one of my golden, I'm going to do one of my professional grade paints on it. And I can definitely tell that I'm in a migraine, because migraines give you, put you on like a emotional roller coaster kind of an effect that goes on. I probably should take the Imitrex, but I don't know. I've been reluctant to take that ever since I had that issue where I had broken blood vessels on my retinas, and those retinas are still healing up from those broken blood vessels. And the Imitrex, when it does something to your blood vessels, or it constricts them or whatever, and then it changes the blood flow in your brain, and then in your nervous system, and then because your migraine is just like a whole body thing, and so I kind of was feeling that maybe in taking that pharmaceutical to get rid of migraines, that it caused that bleed in my retinas. And it's kind of that happened in August. And so we're going to hit it with the hair dryer again, because it is, don't worry about it. I'm just talking. I'm talking, and I'm not asking for sympathy. Please don't please don't do that. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for sympathy at all. I'm just stating a fact, and I'm just rambling, okay? So I'm going to hit the mute button and blast this thing down. Yes, I'm just venting. I'm just venting. I'm not fishing for anything like that. That's because that's not. So, like, if I go and talk about my father passing away, I'm not looking for condolences there either, because it's something that happened a long time ago, and so it's not one of those things. These things happen to everyone. Everybody loses somebody in the end, and yeah, so it's getting a nice look on it, and so we're gonna do red. I'm gonna do a transparent red on it, and the goal is, let me get my color wheel. And the goal, where did I put that at? I got too much garbage in here, and I really need to clean my living space here. And I wish, and I can't find my Bible, like my Catholic Bible. I haven't. It's been missing for like 10 years. I think I know where it's at, but it's I haven't really. I've read the Bible multiple times in my life. I know. It's not. Like I said, I got my icons around me, and have my tarot decks and everything. Um, I'm looking for the color wheel. Anyway, with the color wheel, what you're looking for is creating an optical gray tone. And then you use that as a base to base everything else off of. And then the colors that you add from there, they become vivid as hell. Just really super vivid. And I'll show you on another painting that has an underpainting on it. But I don't have an example. I do have I do have an example of what a painting looks like without an underpainting. But what happened to my color wheel? I'm getting obsessive. Like, I'm getting this hyper fixated into, what the hell happened there? Yeah. No. It just has okay. Now this painting had a underpainting on it, and let's just move it out of the way. It's not done yet, but it had a greenish underpainting on it, and it's not quite the way I wanted it to be, because the skyline is too, the water line, the horizon line is too high. It really needs to be more down like right here. But this is how you can make colors look really super vivid, and by having multiple, I think there's probably 20 layers of paint on here if you include the underpainting, which was kind of like that greenish color. And then you add, and this is all done with layers and layers and layers of transparent paint. And I kind of stopped the painting because of this whole issue here of having the horizon line being too far up, and so it gives this part, it makes it really kind of odd. It makes it kind of So this is actually a mistake in the painting that at this point in time it can't be fixed. And the only way you can fix it is, well, you can sand it down a layer to several layers down, and then start over. But I don't know if I want to do that. But anyways, I can't find my color wheel. It's probably here in plain sight. And just to kind of show you, to look at what tone we need to get this thing to. So it's like a 5. 5 is the tone, is the in the gray tone 5. It's not going to look gray, but that's the color tone I need to achieve. I know it's in this room. I need a housekeeper really bad. I really need somebody who can do housekeeping. I can't afford to pay them. I'm still here. I'm just looking for that color wheel. Oh well. It's fine. I'm not going to find it. Where is it? Anyway, I'm just talking. So we're going to go do red. I'm going to get my gel medium out again. And I'm just using this stuff up. Actually, I didn't really know until within just the last couple months how to use this stuff and what gel medium was for. I've been sitting on it for years. What I used to just use it for, I used it for glue. I just use it like glue because it does work just like glue. And it's just a little bit more pliable than glue. We're going to take that, and this looks like this red is still active. And I think I want to add a different red. Oh no, I'm just going to use it all. It's fine. I'm going to make this transparent, as transparent as I can get it to be. Okay, now it's kind of pasteled out. I don't know if I really want it. Anyway. Use gel medium so it doesn't turn sort of a pinkish color, but it's turning into a pinkish color. So let's just check it to see how transparent it is. And we'll just kind of go over, so you can look at it. It is indeed have a transparent, it looks transparent. So if we add some water to it, you add a little water to it, and then you look at it, you can see right through it, and that's what we want. We want it to be transparent. And that's how you check to see if your paint is transparent, is you just check it over something. And so you are going to go over the whole thing with this transparent red. And we just made, and I just showed you in this demonstration how you make transparent red if you don't have it, because you can turn your heavy body reds into transparent red by doing just that. And this will dry, and then we'll do one last layer, a cool layer, and then we'll end it with a cool layer. And a cool color cool colors are like blue, green, and black is a cool color. And warm colors are red and yellow. Those are warm colors. And I think I'll just go in and get my bone black, and I'll thin out the bone black. And that'll be the final layer. Or I can go do a phthalo green. But I think I really want to, because I did the blue before. And you look through it, and it has so the like I've mentioned it many times now, the effect that you're looking for in doing the transparent colors is that you can see all the layers down to the bottom, and all that light is shining through there. And hopefully you can see by just watching this live, just the truth of it, the truth of how this works. Not going in and seeing a highly edited version of it. Now, granted, yes, the edited version of it, you're in and out of the video in just a couple minutes. And you're not, But this video, especially if you watch it on the replay, you can turn the sound down. And I watch people do whole paintings all the time. Go for an hour and a half long video of somebody doing a painting, or a 2 hour long video of somebody doing a painting. Generally, I turn the sound all the way off, and then I'll play video games, or I'll turn some music on, or do something like that. Because usually when they do have music on those, they have like really stupid music that I don't really want to hear, and you want to buy something off me? Well, I have an email address. You can email me, and we can you can talk about. Do you know what it is that you want to buy from me? Did you want me to paint you a specific painting, or what I'm gonna do? What I will do, and I'm gonna try and do this week. I don't know if I'm gonna and I'm gonna go and pull all my paintings out that I have painted so far in my life, and I'll do like an art gallery, a virtual art gallery kind of a thing, and then I'll post that as a long play video. It'll probably come out in like 2 weeks from now, and then, or less, maybe I can get it done this week, completely done this week, and because I'll have to work on getting the lighting and everything done right. Maybe I can do that on. I do have like, I gotta do my caregiving duties this week, so I have those things. Being a chauffeur and things, and I've been meaning, and I wanted to do this, and so it'll show all the paintings that I have done to date, and then if there's a painting that somebody wants to buy off of me, we can negotiate via email or something like that. I do have my show email account, and I check it regularly. And I have a PayPal button link, and I would be very happy to sell you a painting. I do not have an Etsy store yet. I was thinking about getting one, but it's just the setup is something I just, if somebody else could set the damn thing up, that's what. The whole shipping thing, how much does shipping cost? There are all these things, and then there's the marketing, and you know how hard it is for artists to do their marketing and to sell themselves, and this is why artists make terrible prostitutes, because they're just not good at all at selling themselves, and they make and then when they do, they sound over the top, and they sound like they're like slimy used car salesmen and stuff like that. That's what happens. If you are good at marketing and all that, you'll end up sounding like you're an insurance salesman or some slime ball salesperson. And I've seen that too. I've seen that. They're really good artists, and they try to do marketing and sales, and they just fall on their ass, because that's why they fall on their ass, is because they ain't good at it, and then they overcompensate for not being good at it, and then they come off just being like a creepy, slimy salesperson, like you know at least that's my experience in dealing with artists trying to market themselves, because their skills just ain't there. They just ain't there, and sometimes it's just easier just to take your piece of art and shove it in a box and not look at it, or just going to art fairs, because that's the only way that I've been selling my work, is through art fairs. But the local art fair that I usually go to isn't happening this year, because the fire marshal shut the place down. And I think what it means is I need to volunteer to be on that board, because all the people who are on the planning committees for that thing are like 20 to 30 years older than I am, which means I'm in my 50s, so they're 20 years older than I am. They're in their 60s, late 60s, and their 70s, and they're tired, and really, the people planning that should be like people in my age group, or a little bit younger. We can be a little bit more flexible and think on our feet a little bit more. But people in my age group and younger are tired all the time, because of you're still in your prime working years, and um, you got kids or you got grandkids, and you're babysitting, and you're doing all that. Me, I'm taking care of my mom, who's in her mid 80s, and 83. I'm Oh, looks like my so yeah, there's always these issues, all these issues. But this is looking pretty good. I'm gonna do that cool color on the top of it. I think I'm gonna do blue. Um, yeah, I think I'll do that bone black, and I'm gonna mix it with a tad bit of titanium white. But we need to dry it off just a tad bit. So, and I gotta end this, because my mother needs me to I help her to get her put to bed and so forth. And so I'm gonna mute this thing. All right, we are going on to the final layer, and what I'm going to put on the final layer is just a tad bit of this transparent titanium white. And so you can tell by this brand. This brand shows how it's, so these black spots on here, and then they put a piece of paint over each one of these labels. I can just kind of show you with some of these other ones here. And so this one here is a heavy body titanium white, because you can see the black spots on layer strokes aren't on here at all. So you look at this compared to this, you see that the difference between, so this is an opaque titanium white, and this is a semi-transparent titanium white. Let me get down in here so you can actually see. And then that's what this brand does. The Amsterdam brand, I think that they have this is your student grade. I like this because they have these nice reflexive colors. I love working with these neon colors, and the neon yellow, the neon red, which is kind of like pink, and you know, you get a lot of light in there, and these are just wonderful colors to work with. Because, like, so let's say you look at like a sunset, and you add in a sunset, and you add, let's say here's a little spot of that titanium white, and then you ring it and you add that reflexive yellow in there, and this looks so bright. You can get it looking so bright, like looking at an actual sunset, where you feel like you can't, you have to squint just to look at it. And that's what that, using those reflexive, those colors, those neon colors, they can do when you're building sunsets. And that's what I love about using those colors. But the drawback about using those colors is, if you're using if you're trying to make a print and you try to put this thing over a scanner, it doesn't pick up any of those colors. So if I put this on a scanner, this will come out clear. All of these reflexive colors will not show up on the scan. And the battery's almost dead on this phone. So that's that's the drawback of those colors. And so, like here, this here is a titanium white that is transparent, and this is really far more transparent than this is, because you can see those black stripes coming straight through here. And then here, this is also a transparent color too. This is fluorescent magenta. I love this color. And so I think for here, we're making a cool color. So here, this is bone black, and this also is a transparent color. It's a semi-transparent color. You can see the black stripes underneath it. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to mix I'm going to make a gray, a transparent gray, and we're going to put that over this whole thing. And then I'm going to try to make it even more transparent than so it's just it'll be a thin glaze of a cool color coming over the whole thing. But I want to clean some of this stuff out so it's not really interfering with everything. Take out any of these warm colors out of here. And I think that's doing it there. I'll just take out, see if I can lift out some more of this stuff. All right. I'm done with that. I'm going to probably take the whole first week of November off. I have some painting commissions that I need to finish that I've been putting off for a while. And so we're going to do a gray. We're going to put a transparent gray, very thin layer, and we're going to mix it with a lot of that, like that. A little bit will go a long ways, mixed with a little bit of this transparent, semi-transparent titanium white, just a tad bit like this. I'm going to take that and I'm going to mix it with a lot of this. We're just going to use this glazing material here, which is what this is for. Ooh, that just came out on the side. Probably like that amount. And I need a, okay, we'll just use this brush here. We'll add a little water in it. Just get a good mix on it. And it kind of looks like mud, but that's all right. Just be a little cool everything down just a little bit. I get a little bit of this clean water here, which we'll put in here, which will thin it down even more. I don't want to thin it too much because then it'll bead up on the surface. And just kind of mix it in really, really good. Generally, you're supposed to use a palette knife to do this, but I'm just using this brush. It works too. I want to thank you for being here with me, Motivation, and hanging out with me in the chat. I really have appreciated that. For anybody else who's hung out in the chat. And it's been great that we haven't had any trolls tonight. I really like that when we don't have trolls. You know, I got a bunch of trolls. I mean, last Tuesday. Trolls claiming to be evangelizing me or whatever because what they see tarot cards and they need to do that. And the guy got pissed off when I started quoting scripture to him and like saying you don't have the right to quote scripture using tarot cards, and which kind of was really off-putting because I've had people. Yeah, I don't know. I talked a bit about, you know, being there. It is. It's kind of a grayish tone, and you can see clear through it there. There I go, vent again about religion. I've been a believer my entire life, but I've also have been kind of new agey my entire life. I've had a belief in reincarnation and things like saints and spirit world and spirits and stuff like that my entire life. And I usually keep that kind of quiet, but being that this is a tarot channel too, I feel like I can talk about that kind of stuff. Yeah. And you can see that gray going on that red and mix it kind of like a pinkish tone as it's peeking through. It'll be really interesting to see tomorrow night when I do the I put maybe I will go with a completely different color scheme when I'm painting this mask. Maybe the whole yellow ochre and black or reddish black kind of color is not the right color for this. You know, I don't know. We'll find out. Yeah. Yeah. You know, anyways, it'll be really interesting to see how it turns out. Yeah. Hmm. There we go. Looking at that, kind of showing through, and I'm fairly certain that when I time that troll out, that he was vindicated, or he or she was vindicating, thinking that, yep, they were persecuted. They got persecuted by some some guy on their tarot channel. Persecuted, feeling persecuted. I don't see. I don't know. I don't get that. I never did get it. I could not get that whole mentality, and I wasn't raised that way as a Lutheran. Even then, as a Catholic, I was not raised that way. I became a Catholic as an adult, but as a Lutheran, I just never understood that. The Gospels never really talked about being persecuted. That was more like a Pauline thing. Mainline like Protestant churches that are really close to the Protestant Reformation, or the ones that are more Catholic in orientation, their whole focus really is on the Gospels. And you go, as you go to Mass, or you do that, you get a reading from the Old Testament, and then you get a reading from the Pauline letters, and then you get a reading from the Gospel, and then you have the whole rest of the liturgy, which is going leading into the Eucharist, and the whole going through the whole sacrifice of the Passion. Every week it's that way, going over the whole thing every time, but it's never do you get that sense of persecution or being persecuted. I don't know. Maybe they talked about it when I was asleep or something like that. I just never remember anything like that. I haven't been to Mass for a long time. But what I miss most of all is Taizé. I miss living in Seattle and living, like, I would live almost right next door to St. James Cathedral Church. Within just, like, I could, any morning, if I rolled out of bed at 10, like 9:45 in the morning, I could get to the 10 a.m. Mass just a couple minutes late. Roll out of bed, throw your clothes on, walk out the door, and you're practically there. Then I went to this other church, Immaculate Conception, and I sang in a Black Catholic gospel choir for like 7 years. That was wonderful, and I liked that. And then the Taizé service was just an all singing thing. It was usually on Friday nights. It was kind of a ecumenical thing. And then they had the pipe organ, and they have the beautiful voices, and in the Latin, the ritual languages, the ritual and everything. And this actually is looking really nice. It does have this optical gray effect, and so forth. Yeah, this is gonna be really good. So I guess it took an entire 2 hours to do the underpainting and work on this. I got a little bit more of this paint left in here. We'll lift it off and just kind of apply it on here. But yeah, that really has kind of got to me, that guy saying I didn't have the right to quote scriptures and hold and have tarot cards and not have the right to quote scriptures. To not have the right to. Who says this is a free? I have freedom of speech. Freedom. I have freedom to believe what I want to believe. You have freedom to believe what you want to believe. I mean, if you want to believe the sky is pink, knock yourself out. You'll believe that. I don't care. I mean, it's your life, your path. We all have paths that we're living here, and yeah, that is probably it. They do that. I don't think I actually. I was talking with my buddy about this, a childhood friend, and I don't think they really care. I think they're doing that. I think they're doing it just to try to get a rise out of a person, and it probably, and then I think that's really all it is. I think it's just that. Um, yeah, and I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it. What that was last Tuesday, and I'm still thinking about it. Anyway, this is like an optical gray. If I had my color wheel, I could show you. It's like I think it's like 5 or 6 on there on the scale. You want to be like around 5, but I really appreciate you being here. Motivation. And everyone else who joined in the chat. And the next time I'm going to be on will be Tuesday. I'm not going to be on tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to be on Tarot Tuesday. I'm going to do something tarot related. Sometimes it's art. But this time I'm going to do because tarot cards originally were used as a game, like playing cards, and so we're going to go over playing tarot solitaire, and that'll be 9. I guess it'll be the start time will be 9:09. For some reason, I'm into like I really am into angel numbers, and the show 999 is an angel number, and that's so 909 is also an angel number. Yeah, so Tuesday night is the guaranteed. I may do a pop-up. I don't know. It just depends on my time and everything going on. I know. Yeah. So you got the same thing with the angel numbers. Yeah. My most common ones that I think I've been today it was 444 555, and then yesterday it was like lots of 111s, lots of 1111s. And yeah, I think a lot of people are seeing the angel numbers because like maybe they're I really believe that we're in the process of having just a whole consciousness change in the world. At least I don't know, maybe it's just because there's so much chaos in our world with the wars and then the elites that are just sucking all the wealth out of the people and all that there's all this stuff that is so painful to that we have to endure through. So that then we have these hopes and these things that these big spiritual movements that we just hope are happening, and we kind of glom on to that kind of stuff. And I think it helps us to get through the day because, at the end, it's like faith, hope, and love. Those things is what we got. Those are things we can just sort of cling to. And I don't know what faith means. Don't ask me. It's how you define that. If I just go from a straight up biblical perspective, because that's what I grew up in. That was what I was born in. I was born into the Christian church. I was born into it. I was baptized into it. And I studied it. I studied it for years and years. I studied it. And you see Isaiah, and I'm not going to quote the exact verse because I didn't come out of one of those kind of traditions where we were doing Bible memorization. I didn't do that. But Isaiah talked about that God, or the source, writing the law on your heart. Now, they don't really define what that means, but if I were to go and take a look at what does that mean, I think it doesn't mean that it's like anything that comes out of those holy scriptures. I don't think that's not the law that's being written on your heart. And so for you as an individual, and you be quiet, and you spend time in the quiet, and you spend time in nature, and then that law will start to talk to you. It'll start talking to you, and then I think in the end, and I'm preaching here, and I didn't think that I was going to do that, but I'm preaching here. That what's important is not the story. The mythology is not the important thing. The important thing is how you behave. That you don't harm other people. It's how you love and serve one another. And that's what the important thing to focus on. It's not, it's not easy. It's not easy, but that's the important thing to focus on in your life, and how to be a loving person, and only you can define what that means. No one can tell you what that means, and that's one of the things that when you're in the mainline religions where they wouldn't like somebody saying this, because they want to be the ones in control. They want to be the ones who are telling you how to behave. They're the ones that tell you how to do that. They want you to submit to their authority. And I'm saying that that's not what I get from the Jesus story. What I get is that God wrote the law on your heart, so you don't submit to any man. You submit to the law that God wrote in your heart. And that law in your heart can guide you how to love in this world and what that means. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So mindfulness, yes, exactly. And so through service of others, so if you're a parent, and you be the best parent you can possibly be, taking care of your children. If you're taking care of your folks, like that's what I'm doing. I'm taking care of my mom, trying to be the best caretaker that I can possibly be. You got your friends, and being a good friend, and not be, but there are so many things about that are hard, and it's hard. It's hard. No one ever said it was easy. It is hard. And it's a lifelong process of learning how to do that. And So yeah, I guess I got to be a little kind of preachy here on a day that I had a migraine, and which I have migraines all the time. So I'm not like I say, I'm not fishing for sympathies or anything about that. Um, but anyways, that's all I got. And so I'm gonna turn the camera off. I'm gonna be back for Tarot Tuesday. We're gonna do some fun stuff. I'm gonna play solitaire with my little teeny tiny tarot deck, and then, but I'm gonna probably finish this mass sometime this week. And I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. For everybody who pushed the sub button and pushed the like button, I'm trying to get over 1,000 subs. I would like to get over 1,000 subs before the end of this year. I don't know if that's possible or not. Anyways, that's all I got. I'll see you guys the next time. Bye bye.